Chasing a chicken turned out to be a wake-up call. A couple of years ago, my husband took a job out of town, and so I was here most of the time by myself. We had two chickens at the time. We had Candace, and she was my very favorite. The rest of them had been killed by a fox. And so she was so lonely that I got her this other chicken. And she wasn't a regular laying chicken, she was a game bird. And she was crazy, and I named her Dizzy because it completely described her. She was an insane chicken. And very entertaining, but crazy. And she just didn't want to go to bed on time. You know, like I wanted her to be on my time schedule, not on her own time schedule. So I was always chasing her to go into the coop at sunset, and she didn't want to go. So one day I was chasing after her while my husband was out of town, and I tripped on the rock that our house is built on. And I fell hard on my left side. And immediately I knew I was okay. I mean, it hurt, but I was okay. I'm pretty sturdy. But all of these things started going through my head like, oh my gosh, what could have happened? It scared the crap out of me. Like I was alone, way rural, so far away from people. And fortunately, I had my phone with me. So if I had to have called somebody, I would have had my phone. But I did call my daughter-in-law. I got up and I made sure I wasn't broken anywhere. And I called her and I'm like, I'm okay, but you need to talk me off the ledge, because all of a sudden in my head, I'm seeing all the things that could have happened in that moment. And it made me come up with my don't do stupid bleep mantra, which is what I think today. I still do so many things that I always did. I just do them differently. You know, I'm very intentional. One of the other places where I saw that, oh my gosh, I can't just like rush through this because I could fall, is in my closet. I have to stand up on a step to get to the highest, backest shelf. And so one time I stepped on it and I wasn't centered and I felt it tip, and I was like, oh my gosh, I fall in the closet and it's going to be bad news. So I just have to remember, you know, to like still go ahead and do it, but don't do it like a bull in a china shop, which is pretty much how I have always done everything. We don't think about how fast things can change, and sometimes we don't even realize that they have. You know, I've talked about this in the last couple of videos. Like, you don't realize maybe you've lost the ability to get up off the ground easier, or you've lost the ability to balance. You know, these things just kind of gently ebb away while we're not paying attention. And so we need to be paying attention to these things. One fall, one bad step, one thing that your body can't recover from, we don't want that. So people think that the bad things in their life are already built into you. They're baked into your DNA. You know, I have a bad heart. I have bad knees. You know, my mom had bad knees. All the things that you think are bad, wrong, you're just stuck with them because that's how you came. And I beg to differ. I think you start that way. Our DNA definitely tells us, you know, who we are and what we are. And I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on YouTube. So just let's get that straight. But like I think about, I have good skin. I take care of my skin, you know, and people will be like, well, you just inherited that. Well, no, I didn't. My mom's skin was ruddy and she just didn't take care of it like I did. But I'm very careful about my skin. And so I think it's like that with everything. You know, I could not take care of my knees, you know, same with my knees back in the day when I first started doing this walking. My knees would hurt, you know, but when that happened, I started stretching. I started going backwards up hills, you know, walking backwards is supposed to help your knees, and it seems like it really does. So I addressed the problems as they happened because it was a matter of how I was living that was impacting how my knees felt. So genetics matter. They start the whole thing, but they just don't tell the whole story. A lot of this is up to you. How you eat, how you train, how you sleep. Do you get enough sleep? All these things can help you to age better, to age more with more life, where you don't just want to have to hang out on the couch because you can't do anything else. You're actually living your life instead of just waiting to arrive safely at death. Small decisions add up. Everybody wants instant change. I mean, I've been guilty of that in my life. Okay, I've gained this 10 pounds. I want to lose it by tomorrow. That would be very nice, wouldn't it? But we realistically know that if it took us a while to get to this place, it's going to take us a while to get back to that place. But little steps add up. Like I was mentioning in my last video, I still stretch every day and I still hate it. And it didn't start showing me results right away. And it's super easy to give up at that point. You just want it to be, I don't hurt, I can do this with no problem, but it takes a while. Then all of a sudden, when you're not paying attention pretty much, all of a sudden, guess what? You're doing it easier, you're feeling the effects of it, and it's all good. But you have to keep going and you have to keep choosing to eat better, move better, challenge your body to do things, because even though we're getting older, it doesn't mean we can't challenge our body. I'm training for a 50K. I'm going to be able to do it. I did 2 hours yesterday, and it was not easy, but it wasn't hard. And I feel really tired when I'm done with it, and I'm glad to be finished. But you know what? I'm going to keep moving up a little bit at a time. My training program moves me up so that I progress, so that by the time November rolls around, walking that 50K is going to be maybe not easy, because I'm sorry, that's a long distance, but I'll be able to do it. I'll be fully capable, fully trained, and ready to go for that moment. The things we need to think about is I 100% am behind walking. Walking is so good for everybody, and everybody can do it pretty much. You don't have to walk fast. You don't have to walk far. You just walk within your own capabilities, and then you add on to that and you progress as you go. Balance is another thing. You can work on balance. I brush my teeth on one leg. And it sounds crazy, but I just kind of automatically do it now. I just do a minute on one leg and a minute on the other leg. And then I find that it's easy. It gets easier as you go. I also love to walk on curbs and parking blocks. I taught it to my granddaughter as a game when she was super little. Oh, we have to walk on the parking blocks because it's fun. And I just automatically do that thing because it's good for me to challenge myself like that all the time. I work with weights. I love my kettlebell. I do kettlebell swings. It's a full body exercise, and I love it. I'm started to work on grip training, strength training, grip strength, grip strength. And I used to, in the Marine Corps, you had to do this flexed arm hang. Women didn't have to do pull-ups. They had to do a flexed arm hang, and I sucked at it. It was terrible because I'm a big person, and I've always been a big person, and I've got much stronger lower body than upper body. But I was able to finally get it to first class before I got out of the Marine Corps. But now, you think that's really super simple. I tried to do it one day, and I was down as fast as I was up. It was bad. So now it's just like a straight hang is even not as easy as you would think it would be. So every time I walk by, I have a power rack downstairs. Every time I walk by the power rack, I try to hang and see just how much longer I can hang. Because eventually I'm going to get there. And even at the age of 65, I still want to be able to do one pull-up. So maybe someday in my life, I'm going to get there. I challenge myself physically because of a decision I made a long time ago when I got my functional aging specialist certificate. And that first chapter that tells you how fast you're going to lose your strength and how fast you're going to lose your endurance, I was like, I'm not going to be that person. That was 10 years ago anyway. I think it was 10 years ago. And that was when I knew that I was never going to stop doing what I was doing, because why should I? I know the thought is, oh, we're getting slower. We need to slow down. I saw on Twitter yesterday, this man said, oh, I have this wrong and I have that wrong. And somebody responded, well, it's age. No, it's not age. It's because you let yourself get rusty and you let yourself get out of shape. And it can be so easy to get back into shape. Now, it may take you a while, but it's not. If you keep doing a little bit every day, I promise you, next year, you're going to be that much better. And you're going to be living better, and you're going to feel better, and you're going to be happier, and it's going to be great. And while you're doing this, you're not just changing your body, you're rewiring your mind. And I think mindset is so much a part of aging well, because if you get that in your head, I keep seeing all these memes, and I've talked about this before, the memes that say that you can't do this or that because you're old. I go against those, and I know they're meant to be funny, but when you start reading that stuff and laughing at it, kind of internalize that and think, oh my gosh, my birthday happened with a 19 in the front of it, and so I better not be wrapping birthday presents on the floor anymore. I need to do it on the table because I can't get down on the floor. But you need to get down on the floor. Every dang day you need to practice getting up and down off the floor, so that if you do fall, you're going to be able to get up off the floor again. And then you're not going to have to rely on the I've fallen and I can't get up button, because I know somebody in my life that I love very much, and that's her reality. You know, if she falls, she can't get up, and that sucks. So I've said that word a lot in this video, and I apologize if I'm offensive. I don't mean to be. I just want you to know so much, like, you have control over this, you know? The choices that you make, the little choices to walk, the little choices to practice getting up and down, the choices to, move backwards, all the little things, stand on a curb, stand on one leg, all those things are going to help you to age better, and it will be better for you all the way around. My whole gig here is that I don't think we need to settle for being old. I mean, we're going to age, but do we have to be the little old lady sitting in the rocking chair? I don't think so. There's so many times, the last race I ran, when I was looking at the history to see how fast people went, because I'm still very competitive, even though I'm pretty sure I'm going to come in last from here on in. I still wanted to see, well, what did the other ladies my age do? Well, back 4 years ago, they didn't even have any ladies in their 60s doing this race. And in my race the other day, there were 5 of us that were in the 60s and 3 in their 70s. That's amazing. And that's how it should be, because we can do these things. There's no reason not to. So I want you to know that you don't have to slow down. You don't have to change what you're doing. You just need to really be more intentional about it, and make sure that you are sure-footed, make sure that you're aware of what you're doing, and, not run into, be a bull in the china shop. That's like my favorite phrase, because it describes me so well. I just like rush into everything, and knowing that it's better to take care, because we are older and we're not as unbreakable as we used to be, but we can still do the things that we want to do if we're careful with it. So that's what I've got for you today. Thanks for spending time with me today. If this encouraged you, give it a thumbs up and share it with another aging rebel who needs a little hope. I'll see you in the next one, and remember to live strong, laugh often, and shine with purpose.